They don't warn you when life decides to test your foundation. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It simply places a choice in front of you, to break or to become unbreakable. Most people, when faced with this moment, are unprepared. They crumble, they search for comfort, they blame the world for their pain. But what if there was another way? What if that moment of shattering wasn't an ending, but the very beginning of your true awakening? Carl Jung, the legendary psychologist, understood this dynamic better than anyone. He knew that the unexamined life is a form of spiritual death, and that our greatest power lies not in avoiding pain, but in our response to it. His work, much like the timeless journey of Santiago in The Alchemist, is a powerful roadmap for anyone who feels that silent, persistent discomfort that comes from playing a role in a story that was never truly their own. In this video, we're going to unlock the secrets to building a mind that doesn't just survive pressure, but thrives under it. We'll learn how to stop being an emotional puppet and start becoming a conscious creator of your reality. This isn't a guide for being liked, it's a manual for becoming whole. The greatest challenge of our time is not the chaos outside, but the constant noise that prevents us from hearing the truth within. We are conditioned to seek comfort, to numb ourselves with endless distractions whenever the slightest discomfort arises. Machiavelli, a master of human nature, spoke not to the comfortable, but to those who were willing to confront harsh realities. He would tell us that true power doesn't lie in external control, but in the internal discipline to manage our own minds. When life presents you with a moment of pain, the world is watching what you do next. Will you rot in self-pity and run to temporary fixes, or will you use this moment as a catalyst for profound personal evolution? To become a master of your life, you must first become a master of your mind. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your most powerful teacher. It exposes where your defenses are weak and where your attachments have left you vulnerable. And if you allow it, pain will build you a mental fortress that nothing can ever penetrate again. The world doesn't care about your feelings, it only responds to what you become. When you are left in the dark, don't scream for help. Sit in the silence, analyze, and learn where your true strength lives. That's how you begin to build a mind they can never control again. Our first principle is to understand the distinction between a mind that seeks comfort and one that cultivates control. Most people, when hurt, instinctively reach for distractions, endless scrolling, overeating, or seeking constant reassurance from others. These are all forms of escape, and while they offer a temporary high, they ultimately kill growth. The world wants you to be addicted to ease, because a mind that is too reliant on comfort will never be capable of true power. Machiavelli believed that control, especially self-control, is the highest form of power. It doesn't begin with dominating others. It starts with mastering your own reactions. You have been trained to numb yourself with a constant stream of external input, all to avoid facing the real war happening within your own consciousness. But as the great rulers of history knew, the one who rules his own mind owns the world. While others chase fleeting pleasure, you must train your focus. While they seek external reassurance, you learn to sit with your discomfort. And while they panic, you must plan your next move in silence. This isn't heartlessness. It's a fundamental principle of self-dominance over the only thing that truly matters, your own psychology. You are building an internal fortress, and that fortress is forged not from comfort, but from intentional, disciplined action. The second key to your transformation is to break the cycle of emotional reaction and build a new, stronger mental framework. The reason you have felt weak is not because life has hurt you, but because you have allowed your emotions to hijack your judgment. You handed over your mental power to feelings, to chaos, and in that moment you became vulnerable. It's crucial to understand that pain is an inevitable part of life, But how you interpret and respond to that pain is entirely your choice. In the game of psychological power, the one who controls the narrative controls everything. The world can break your body, but if it can break your mind, you were never ready to begin with. You must unlearn the common belief that reacting emotionally makes you authentic. It doesn't. It makes you predictable. The world studies you, and if your reactions are automatic and emotional, you are, in a sense, already owned. They know what words trigger you, what actions bait your anger or your need for validation. Every time you respond in the same way, you are confirming that you are still not free. The path to freedom requires a different approach. The new path is one of emotional discipline, not emotional repression. You are not becoming emotionless, but rather you are becoming a master of your emotions. You will still feel the heat, but you will not move unless it is a calculated and intentional decision. This means learning to cry when you need to, but behind closed doors, not in public. It means speaking less, but ensuring that everything you do say lands with a purpose. Your focus is sacred, and no one deserves access to your energy or your mental space unless they have earned that right. Machiavelli understood this when he wrote that it is often safer to be feared than to be loved. In psychological terms, love can create attachments that make you soft and vulnerable, tying you to illusions, but a healthy, earned sense of fear and respect keeps people cautious. They will think carefully before they speak to you or act against you. They will respect you, even if they don't. Fully understand you. This is the new edge you are building, not just physical strength, but psychological sharpness. It is a form of control that doesn't need to yell to be felt. The next time life throws fire at you, don't flinch, don't break, stare it down. You have been broken before, but this time you will break through. The third step in this journey of transformation is to rewrite your narrative or risk staying broken forever. Most people remain stuck in their past because they accept the story life gave them. They wear their suffering as a badge of honor, hoping someone will finally understand their pain. But true power is not earned through pity. It is cultivated through mental discipline. If you wish to become psychologically untouchable, you must begin by tearing down every narrative that says you are a victim, that you were wronged, or that life owes you something. Life owes you nothing, but it will give you power if you prove you are ruthless enough to take it. Your trauma is not your identity. Your pain is not your personality. It was a test, an event, a phase. Now it's time to destroy it. You are not here to tell the world what happened to you. You are here to show the world who you became because of it. People will try to remind you of your past, and you should let them, but be sure that the person they are trying to talk to no longer exists. This is how you control the narrative, by killing off the version of yourself that stayed broken. Machiavelli knew that perception is more powerful than reality. Your story is not just what happened, it's how you choose to present and live it. When you speak, let your words be precise and intentional. When you walk, carry silence as your weapon. When they doubt you, don't explain yourself. Exceed their expectations, and when life hits again, you won't crumble. You will calculate, adapt, and use the pain as fuel. This is because a person who has trained their mind through pain becomes fluent in the language of strategy. There will be nights when your mind feels like an enemy and you will question everything. In those moments, you have a choice: to collapse into weakness or to consciously construct your mental empire. You don't need more hope, you need more control. The mind doesn't respect motivation alone, it respects discipline. You must feed it the truth and train it to obey under pressure. The profound truth you must internalize is this: you are not the damaged version of your past. You are the weapon that version created. You are not here to tell stories of suffering. You are here to live a story of power. And this is the profound shift that happens on the path to self-mastery. The fourth principle, and perhaps the most difficult to master, is to learn the art of detachment and build your inner power. Attachment is the most silent killer of mental power. At first it feels warm and comforting, disguised as love, loyalty, or hope. But beneath the surface, it turns your strength into chains. You find yourself waiting for others, chasing after validation, and compromising your standards just to keep people or situations that were never meant to stay. This is the first fracture in your mental armor. Caring too much about things that do not care about you. Machiavelli did not build power by clinging to others. He built it by watching, calculating, and detaching when the time was right. If you want to train your mind to withstand life's inevitable betrayals, you must study this principle deeply. Never attach your peace of mind to anything external, not people, not outcomes, not even the identity you think you are supposed to have. The moment something outside of you controls how you feel, it controls you. And a person who is controlled is a weak person. To become truly powerful, you must become emotionally independent. You must master the art of remaining calm and composed while chaos surrounds you. People will be confused by your stillness. They will wonder why you don't react, why you don't beg for their attention, or why you don't flinch under pressure. This is how you know the transformation is working. Your silence becomes unsettling. Your absence becomes loud. Your detachment becomes your dominance. While the rest of the world panics, you remain composed. Not because you don't feel, but because you no longer need the world to feel whole. Every time you detach, you reclaim a piece of your power. Every time you stop explaining yourself, you sharpen your focus. Every time you choose not to react, you earn a measure of respect. And every time you walk away, you remind the world that you were never meant to be owned. Being unbothered is not coldness. It is a form of supreme self-control. And in the game of psychological power, control is everything. They will try to guilt you, calling you selfish or saying you have changed. Let them. The truth is, you finally stopped playing the role of an emotional servant. You have stopped bleeding for people who never noticed your wounds. You have stopped shrinking yourself so that others could feel taller. And now that you've chosen power over approval, the very people who used your kindness will try to rewrite the script. But they no longer have the power to do so because you can see through their manipulations. You have spent too long confusing emotional attachment with loyalty. But loyalty to others means nothing if it costs you loyalty to yourself. This is your turning point. You don't need closure from others. You don't need their applause. You need clarity and the mental distance to execute your next move in silence. Machiavelli would have called this the supreme discipline of a strategist, to act without being seen, to feel without being enslaved by emotion, and to cut ties without hesitation when necessary. So, train your mind to drop what weakens it, to release what drains, and to silence what distracts. You are not in this world to please others. You are here to position yourself for true power, and positioning begins with emotional withdrawal. You must build an internal fortress that no one has the key to, and once you do, the world will lose its grip on you. They can talk, leave, lie, or betray you, but they will never be able to break what they cannot access. The more you detach, the more they will notice your absence, not because you are gone, but because you are no longer dependent on being seen. Power doesn't chase, power disappears and lets its absence do the work. That is your new form of psychological warfare, subtle, cold and effective. If you have reached a point where something inside you has finally snapped and you're ready to cut all emotional chains and walk with a new kind of power, I want you to comment right now. Attachment is weakness. I choose control. This is the line that separates who you were from who you are becoming. Let the weak scroll past, because you are here to rule from within. This is the silent code of psychological dominance. The fifth principle is that true power is forged in solitude, not in crowds. They will tell you that being alone is dangerous, that isolation is a sign of failure, and that distance means you are broken. But that is a lie told by those who cannot stand their own silence. Weak minds need constant noise and distractions to avoid the war happening inside. But you are different now. You are entering a phase that most will not survive. The phase of chosen solitude. Not loneliness, but a purposeful solitude. In this solitude, you will build something unshakable, your mind. This is the moment when the world gets quiet and your own thoughts get loud. Every fear, every insecurity, and every regret will rise to the surface. This isn't an attack. It's an internal audit. Machiavelli would have seen this as a perfect opportunity to observe, to plot, and to sharpen his mind in the dark, while others played in the light. This is what solitude gives you, a space free from the illusions of the outside world. In this sacred space of solitude, you will begin to see clearly who you are, what broke you, and what needs to be burned away for you to rise. Most people run from this confrontation, filling the silence with music, constant social interaction, or endless scrolling, anything to escape their own reflection. But you are going to sit in that silence and learn to dominate it. You will listen to your mind scream, and you will not flinch. You will hear old beliefs, begging to stay alive, and you will kill them off one by one. This is not just healing, it is a profound transformation. And transformation is never pretty, it is brutal, it is cold, but it is real. This is where you rewrite your code. You stop thinking like a follower and start thinking like a strategist. You detach from emotional noise and you attach to tactical clarity. You will rewire how you wake up in the morning, how you speak, and how you walk into a room. You no longer chase dopamine. You chase discipline. You no longer ask why things happened. You ask how you can use them to your advantage. This shift, this is your rebirth. When you embrace solitude, you will find every weakness trying to crawl back in. Old habits will whisper to you. Past relationships will try to resurrect themselves. Your doubts will disguise themselves as logic. But this is where you separate yourself from the 99%. You don't answer the knock. You don't reopen what broke you. You build alone. You study alone. You evolve alone. And when you return, you will not be the same. The weak come back from solitude needing validation. The powerful come back needing nothing. That is the path you are on. You are not doing this for attention. You are doing it to reclaim your power. The world rewards those who have control over themselves, not those who broadcast their healing journey. Silence becomes your gym. Solitude becomes your weapon. And when life throws fire at you again, you won't run. You will. Walk through it with a mind trained in solitude and eyes that do not blink. That is what truly scares them, that you no longer need anyone to feel whole. The sixth principle is to turn pain into precision and think like a tactician. Pain is the greatest intelligence test life can give you. It's not school, not books, not degrees, but raw pain. The kind that breaks your routine, bends your ego, and cuts your illusions open. In that chaos, the weak beg for comfort. But the future strategists go quiet. They stop feeling and they start calculating. They look at pain not as an enemy, but as a message, a puzzle, a warning shot from the universe saying, adapt now or be erased. If you are still reacting to pain emotionally, you haven't understood its purpose yet. Pain is data. It shows you where you are exposed. It shows you what they can use against you. It reveals who you depended on, who you overestimated, and where your defenses were weak. This is where you stop seeing pain as an enemy and start using it like a scalpel. You dissect it, you sit with it, you ask, why did this hit me so hard? And the answer always comes back to one thing. You let your mind fall asleep. Machiavelli would tell you, never let peace lull you into softness. The world is not a safe place. It is a board of moods, traps, and consequences. And when you learn to treat life like a battlefield, you begin to act like a tactician. Pain stops being bad and becomes feedback. Your heartbreak becomes data. Your failures become map coordinates. Your betrayals become a list of vulnerabilities you must seal shut. While others collapse under emotion, you start crafting responses, not reactions. A response is a product of strategy. It's timed, it's chosen, and it's cold. That's power. Most people are playing checkers with their pain, jumping too fast, too loud, too desperate. But you must learn to play chess. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, how can this pain position me for long-term power? That is the Machiavellian mindset, cold, clear, and focused. Every time life tests you, don't just endure it, analyze it. What did it expose? What weakness in your system made it possible? What blind spot allowed it to get close? The final principle is to become emotionally immune and kill their control. Let's get one thing straight. The world doesn't destroy you with weapons. It destroys you with expectations, with pressure, and with emotional bait. You're told to be nice when you should be silent, to forgive when you should walk away, to explain when you should disappear. And every time you comply, you lose a piece of yourself. That is how control works, not with force, but with emotion. But you're not playing that game anymore. You are done bleeding for people who sharpen the knife. This is where your emotional immunity begins. The difference is key. Numbness avoids, immunity absorbs, and remains unaffected. That's the power you're building now. You don't let their words pierce you. You don't let their absence shake you. You don't let their opinions override your standards. You hear it, you see it, but it doesn't reach your core. Why? Because you have reinforced the walls of your mind, and nothing that isn't truth is allowed to enter. The weak give their energy away like it's nothing. But Machiavelli would tell you, a ruler must be unshakable. You cannot control your life if you can't control your emotions. You can't lead others if anyone can destabilize you with a few careless words. You must audit everything that touches your energy, every conversation, every environment, every person. You must ask, does this strengthen me or does this scatter me? And the second you feel yourself shrinking, doubting, or hesitating, you cut it, emotionally, strategically, and quietly. This isn't about revenge. This is about preservation. They don't need to know you're done. They just need to feel the void where your emotional investment used to live. Your self-respect is not up for negotiation anymore. You know who you are now, and that version doesn't ask twice, doesn't chase, and doesn't beg. It's a version that walks away so silently that people start to wonder if they ever truly had access to you at all. This is what makes you terrifying. They can't predict your reaction because you respond with calm, not chaos. You don't argue, you don't rant, you vanish emotionally first. This is the final state of psychological control. You have stopped reacting to life and started running it. You have trained your mind to be strong when life breaks you. And that, right there, is Machiavelli's coldest law. He who controls his mind controls the world. The mind you have trained can no longer be seduced by attention. It can't be shaken by betrayal. It can't be lured back into old patterns. It sees through manipulation. It remains calm under pressure. It trusts nothing easily, and yet it fears nothing completely. This is a mind made for war, a mind that does not fold. You didn't get here by accident. You got here because life tried to break you, and you used every broken piece as fuel, every betrayal as a blueprint, every disappointment as a sharpening stone. That kind of power is what truly sets you free. You are no longer rebuilding, you are reprogramming. The person you are becoming doesn't apologize for being calculated. They don't explain their coldness. They don't shrink for anyone's comfort, and they don't seek permission. They build position. That is the energy that rises to the top. That is the mindset that no loss, no betrayal, no chaos can ever destroy. If this series of videos has carved a new reality into you and you're ready to embrace this journey of psychological control, then this is your final call to action. I want you to comment this right now. My peace is locked. My power is sealed. Say it. Lock it in. And then I want you to go to my channel, Psywake, and hit the subscribe button. This is the community. For those who are done being broken and are ready to start building. We are here to master the mental game. This is only the beginning.